This is the theme of Psalm 121, that we can have confidence in God and that we can trust God. And so then our journey has to be, what do I need to do in order to live into that? I mean, if that's the theme, what are the things I need to do to take those next steps? So here's a couple ideas. First, start with putting God first. What I mean by this is, a lot of times when life goes off the rails, we don't get to God till quite a ways down the road, right? First we complain, or I was going to use another word, not that word. We get upset. We feel lost. We may call up people in our lives and tell them how much we've been wronged. Or we may be depressed. We may be discouraged. We may just feel like, is it ever going to turn around? The psalm calls us this morning to see that our help, it comes from the Lord who made everything, including us, and that we are to put our attention on God first, not last when we get to and try everything else. Psalm 121 calls us to remember that we live a richer and fuller life when we put God first. Next, we're called to rest in God's love. Now, this is the most important sentence in the sermon, so everyone listen to this one sentence. Then you can go back to thinking about lunch, right? The sentence is this: because our God doesn't sleep, we can. Think about that. Because our God doesn't sleep, we can. Our God is in the midst of life, with us all the time. This is a psalm about protection, God's presence with us always, that God's love is there for us always, and that enables us to find comfort and peace, even when things are hard. So if you ever have trouble falling asleep at night, or if you're like me, you wake up in the middle of the night and start thinking, you could pray, God, I rest in your love tonight. I trust that you have this. And then the third thing, draw close to God in prayer by using Psalm 121. I really want to encourage you not just to read this psalm and think about this psalm, but to pray it, to make it yours. And how do you do that? All you need to do is just as you read, just slow it down a little bit. Think about it. They teach in seminary that you can read Scripture in one of two ways. You can read it for information, or you can read it for transformation. A lot of times we read things for information. You know, that's like, what did Jesus do? What did he teach? Where did he go? What we're saying here is, if we would read it to be transformed, usually what that means is we got to slow it way down, and we got to think about how that connects with us, how that reflects upon us. And so for this week, I want to encourage you to take Psalm 121 and make it your prayer. Here's a couple ways you could do that. In the morning, having your cup of coffee before you look on Facebook or turn on the news, say the words of Psalm 121 to yourself. If you have children in your family, say this to them before they go out into their day. This is often thought of as a psalm of blessing. And in fact, you may find this psalm in a nursery or in a Jewish hospital because it's so much seen as a prayer of blessing. And so however you do it, by yourself or if you have kids at home or grandkids, let it become your words. Let this become your prayer and see where God meets you.